So I'm going to put the link in the chat. If any of you want to join, you can come and join. And you can share this with your friends and family. This to me is the most powerful personal development group on Facebook. So I create this for Steve, and it's my group. It's not Steve's group, it's my group. It's running amazing. And he goes, can you do this for me on Instagram? So I go, sure, Steve, no problem. So this is the Ultimate Coach Instagram page. 1,600 followers. If you're an Instagram person, you can go follow it if you want. And then we create LinkedIn. Hey, can we do it on LinkedIn? He said it to me or I said it to him. Okay, this is all being done with no compensation. I've never asked Steve for a penny. So this is the LinkedIn group if any of you want to join. And then we created TikTok. And there's videos from all different types of people on TikTok, including Steve Hardison. And then we created YouTube. All being done, no compensation, never asked for any, I never will ask for any. This YouTube channel, by the way, has $100,000 in real value on it. And it's no cost. You and your family can go on here and you can watch these videos. This video right here.
Why would you approach a stranger?
This is a nearly 90-minute video from Steve himself. It'll blow your mind, that one video right there. There's videos of me. There's videos of a bunch of the other leaders within the Being movement. Mind-blowing stuff. Okay. Then the other one we created was podcast. So here's the podcast. It's 119 episodes, including episodes from me, including episodes from Steve Hardison himself, Amy Hardison, his wife, and other brilliant people. All of this got created. Miracles happening all over the world. Steve didn't want to write a book. Amy didn't want to write. Steve didn't want a book about him. Amy didn't want to write a book. I didn't want to create a Facebook group. And here we are. So that's a little bit about the backstory of Steve Hardison, The Ultimate Coach book. A little bit about me. This is a photo taken at Steve's house in Arizona, where he and his wife live. This is Townsend Wardlaw, one of the world's leading experts on being. And I've been trained by Townsend. Towards the end of the day today, I am going to extend an invitation if any of you want to go beyond today. If you'd be interested in working with me on being with a group, and I'll give you all the details on that. And Townsend has agreed to do some instruction for this group. So Townsend is somebody I've learned from. Ankush is one of Steve's, I call him a protege. Steve might call, or Ankush might call himself something different. Ankush has done over 200 hours of work with Steve one-on-one. And I've done 14 hours of coaching with Ankush. He's over in the UK. Ankush is going to be doing some training for my community, my Being community. Louise Hay. Louise Hay is the author of You Can Heal Your Life. This was the first personal development book that I ever read. I was 17 years old. That's when I began my personal development journey. This is me at age about 20. I was a cook at McDonald's. I was going to community college. I ended up dropping out of community college. And I went into sales. This is a photo of me at my first sales job. And I was working for a man named Dante Pirano, who is a seminar leader. This is my sales mentor, Dr. Donald Moyne. Dr. Moyne, if you're familiar with neurolinguistic programming, Moyne was a student with Richard Bandler at UC Santa Cruz. Grinder was a linguistics professor, and Moyne came up in the NLP movement. And Dr. Moyne wrote the first NLP-based sales book ever called Modern Persuasion Strategies. And so just a little side note about my relationship with Dr. Moyne. So I'll pull up this book here. So this book was the first NLP-based sales book ever written, called Modern Persuasion Strategies. The book was written in 1984. The book went out of print, and I went to Dr. Moyne and I said, the book's out of print. I want to re-release it with you as your co-author. So that book now exists, and I wrote a chapter. We did a little bit of updating, and so that's something I'm really proud of. And so I started off as Dr. Moyne's student, and now we're business partners. So he's been my coach since '94. This is us team teaching together. I then went and worked for Tony Robbins. I had a 3-year run with Tony in the 90s. This is my family here. My wife, my 2 kids, and my 2 stepdaughters. We live in Rocklin, California, which is a small town just outside of Sacramento. So that's a little bit about my background. What we're going to cover today are distinctions around being. We're going to look at who we're being, and we're going to look at who do we need to be in order to create what we want. We're going to do some breakouts today where you can share what you're learning. And I want to create the breakouts because the breakout sessions may be the miracle for you. So in a breakout, everybody gets an opportunity to share. There's no requirement. I mean, if you don't want to share, you can just pass, but everybody gets a chance to share. And when you share, you're contributing. When you share, you're expressing your thoughts in words. So it's different for you to think a thought versus to think a thought and express it in words. When you share, you're creating the possibility of transformation for others. You might tell a story about something that happened with your former boss, and that is the most impactful story of somebody in the breakout, even more impactful than anything I share. And you become the one to create the breakthrough for that person. When you share, you're creating the possibility of 2 times more the value that you're receiving today. When you share, you're creating the possibility of breakthroughs that are only possible by you sharing. So what I want you to realize is that in a breakout session, as people are sharing, value is being created by you and by others. This is what I want to teach all of humanity, this simple idea. Thank you for being here, by the way. Thank you for showing up. We are just getting started. This is the core, guys, right here. 3.5 years ago, I didn't know this. This unlocked levels 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. The 3 distinctions of being. We're always being. Nobody teaches you how to be. We can observe our being. We can shift our being. So the father who's blowing up at his teenage daughter, and I ask the father, what is going on with you and your daughter? And he says, I have a short fuse. And I say, are you open to something different? And he goes, yes, because short fuse isn't working. I go, I agree. So father blowing up at your teenage daughter, you're being, you have a short fuse. No, you're being, add being in front of it, you have a short fuse. Being implies choice, which unlocks something. Father is blowing up at your daughter with a short fuse. You could be infinitely patient. Would you try the next time you have a short fuse? Would you try being you're infinitely patient? He goes, yeah, I'll try it. Then he goes and tries it with the daughter and then gets on the next coaching call. And I say, what happened? He goes, I don't know, Eric. I didn't have a short fuse the last time we talked. And I actually connected with my daughter. That's what we're talking about in every area of your life. We're always being, we can observe our being, we can shift our being. You have the ability to shift your being with money, with your health, with your relationships, with your boss, right? You have a boss and you don't like your boss. And you go to work every day and you're being, I don't like my boss. And that impacts how your day goes. It impacts how you feel. And it's this looping thought, and it's there, and it's there, and it's there, and it's there, and it's there. And you go, who am I being about my boss? I'm being, I don't like my boss. Okay, so what's that going to create for the next 5 years of your working relationship? Lack of productivity, negative feelings, dreading going into work, on and on and on. And then you go, okay, let me shift my being. What does that look like? It looks like building relationship. You have the ability to love somebody when they don't love you back. Someone doesn't have to love you for you to love them. You could shift it in how you show up in your relationship with your boss. You could go and say, hey, boss, can we go to lunch? And you could have a heart-to-heart with your boss and express your feelings and be vulnerable. And say, I love my job and we have a disconnect, and I want to create something different. And your vulnerability, here's something that Ankush taught me. You want somebody to be vulnerable with you, be vulnerable with them first. And you're like, man, Eric, that'd be a scary lunch. I get it. I get that. I get that. And you know what? It could transform your relationship. Who are you being right now? So we're going to have our first exercise of the day. Who are you being right now? Who do you need to be to get the most out of today? So I want you to take 5 minutes right now and explore this in writing. Just check in with yourself right now. Who am I being? I'm not being present. I already know this. I'm wow, this is amazing. I'm going to create a miracle today. I'm hanging on every word. I said I was going to play at a 10, I'm playing at a 5. Okay? Just notice, who are you being right now?